Hey guys, Heather here from Tye-Dyed Iguana. Now, I know most people think that an animal's first line of defense, if they're scared or if they think you're gonna hurt them, is to bite. That is in fact not true. There are lots of things that they will do beforehand to protect themselves from predators. Sometimes they see you as a threat or a predator, so they do a lot of things beforehand before resorting to biting to defend themselves. And today we're going to talk about 5 different defense mechanisms of reptiles and amphibians that our animals here at the store display. Now, the first defense mechanism that we're going to talk about today is making themselves look bigger, more threatening to the predator. And the prime example of that is our tomato frog. Okay. He's already doing it a little bit. If you look really close. Okay. So he's gonna, some frogs and toads do, these guys are tomato frogs. What they'll do is they'll inflate themselves with air. It's pretty funny because you can hear them puff up. Now, I'm not hurting him in any way, I'm just picking him up lightly. He's actually not puffing up too bad. But as you can see, let's see if I can show it a little bit. Okay, he's puffing up a little bit. So, the way he's standing, he's making himself look tall, look really big. And then the female back here, she's pretty cranky. Yeah. See how she's got herself all puffed out, and she's actually kind of posturing. They'll stand really tall on those legs, and they'll let you know they're not happy. And they'll just keep that defensive posture, just make themselves look as big as possible. And that also makes it harder for predators to eat them too, because if they puff themselves up, it's harder to get your mouth around them. But don't worry guys, we won't eat you. Oh my goodness. She didn't like me putting the stick back, so she puffed up even more. That's okay. And then sometimes they'll tuck their head in and just, let's see, look, there we go. So, if they think their head's gonna get hurt, they tuck their head in and then they just puff out their bodies. It's pretty cool. Alright, now the next one that's an expert at making itself look bigger is, of course, our frilled dragon. Now, these guys are the ones that they open up the frill. You can see it folded against his neck. They can open that frill up and they can make themselves look huge, especially when they open their mouth at the same time. Now this guy, he's just a little skittish. He doesn't really frill up very much. He did frill up one time when I got too close with the camera. He's just a little nervous. But I really don't want to bother him too much because that stresses them out. But we can see what he thinks of the camera. It looks like he isn't going to make much of it today. Yeah? He's actually doing really good. So yeah, we won't bother him too much. But just know that yes, these guys can and will frill up, and it does make them look pretty darn big. So the second defense mechanisms that these guys show is bright coloration and warning colors. Now our best example of that here is our poison dart frogs and arrow frogs. And we got one right here that's the bumblebee arrow frog, and he has got lots of bright warning colors. Now the thing about these guys in captivity, they don't actually produce the poison, what makes them poisonous. They don't produce poison, so they are completely harmless in captivity. Whereas in the wild, that color does mean something. It warns predators that, hey, don't eat me, you know, I'm very poisonous. If you eat me, you'll probably end up dying. So yeah, warning colors are a good way to tell people not to mess with them. Alright, the third defense mechanism on our list is camouflage. Now, most people think of chameleons when it comes to masters of camouflage. However, if you look in this tank, you know, you're just looking, you might think, you know, it's just got a vine up there. Nope, that's a snake. These guys, they look exactly like vines. These are Indonesian tree boas. And what they do is they kind of stretch out on branches and make themselves, they stay really still, make themselves look like they're part of the scenery. So they he's just fine. Let's see, his head is right there, that little square snoot. But yeah, we'll show you that he moves. And their coloration also looks like the bark of a tree, like a vine. See? Yeah, he does not want to move. He is not wanting to be messed with. So we'll leave him alone. There's actually 2 of them up there. See that guy? That's another one. Now, another one of our animals that uses camouflage to hide really well is our red-eyed tree frogs. Now, you may not think that they do a very good job at hiding because they have red eyes. However, whenever they sleep during the day, they usually find a leaf to curl up on. And what they do is they usually tuck their toes in. See how he's tucking his toes? I kind of woke him up a little bit, but that's okay. What they do is they sit there with their toes tucked, and then they have this membrane that covers their red eyes. When they shut them, that kind of blocks it from being seen, and they just tuck themselves up. They hide their bright colors, and they make themselves look like a little leaf. Here's a better example of that. If you look in this plant, you can see there is a frog on the underside of this leaf. And he has got his little toes, his bright toes tucked in. He's got his eyes covered with that extra membrane that kind of makes it, blocks the red color. And he's just part of the leaf. Now, number 4 on our list is the ability to play dead. Now, some animals, instead of like running away from predators or trying to defend themselves, sometimes they'll just give up and play dead and hope that the predator doesn't mess with them because they think they're dead. First example of this is, well, these guys, I know I said at the beginning we're just going over reptiles and amphibians, but hey, we're going to include some of our insect friends too. So we got some blue death feigning beetles here. They're actually named for their ability to play dead for predators. So these guys are all fine and alive and everything. I've done videos of these guys before, but if you pick one up... Oh! Uh-oh. Oh, he's dead, isn't he? Oh, too bad. Guess we'll just put him back. But, yeah, he's perfectly fine. But that's what they do when they get scared, is they play dead. And he'll come back alive in a little bit. It'll take a little while, but they usually try to play dead for a long time so nobody bothers them. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is the ghost mantid. Now, these guys actually have 2 defenses. One is that they look like dead leaves. And 2, they also play dead. Now, I've had it before where these guys, if I accidentally move them or something while taking care of them, they might just drop right off of whatever they're sticking to, and they'll just go completely still and rigid on the floor, and they will not move at all, and you can hold them and stuff and everything, and they just play dead. And it takes them a while to snap out of it, but mantises are known for doing that too. Mantises will definitely play dead, especially the ones I know, dead leaf mantids, they'll do that, and ghost mantids, they'll do it too. But they also look like dead leaves, kind of, sort of, so that also helps them to blend in and protect them from predators from messing with them in the first place. So, yep, these guys, they have 2 different ways of kind of defending themselves before having to bite or anything. Alright, for our last defense mechanism, number 5, which is mimicry. We're going to see if we can get the Mexican king snake to do something. Alright, he's doing it. Okay, not only is he musking, he's also rattling his tail. See that? Now these guys, they rattle their tail, even though they're not venomous or anything. They try to imitate a rattlesnake. They'll try to rattle their tail against something, make it sound like a rattle. See that? Yeah. Woo. So that's warning the predator not to mess with them and everything, and that rattlesnakes do that just to warn them and everything, and they're known to be venomous, and these guys, they do it too, even though they are not venomous at all. They still have a good bite though. But yeah, musking is also another defense mechanism that most snakes use. They release this chemical that smells pretty bad. So, where are you? Oh, there he is. So yeah, this guy's just a little baby, so no harm. So our last example of mimicry is being shown off by our hypotangerine Honduran milk snake. And that type of mimicry is the red and black colors that some of your more venomous snakes will have. If you've ever heard of the red, black, and yellow on the coral snake, I think red on yellow kill a fellow. I think that's kind of an outdated thing, but for sure, coral snakes and some other venomous snakes, they have that red, yellow, and black coloring. Whereas our other snakes, now I think just the regular Honduran milk snakes have the red, black, and yellow, but this guy's a hypo, so he's got more of just the red and black. So, yeah, these guys, even though they're non-venomous and everything, they still have the warning colors of red and black and everything, so they kind of mimic what a more venomous snake would have to defend themselves. Now, I brought up a picture of a regular Honduran milk snake on my phone, and you can see what the regular one looks like and how it's got the yellow, red, and black banding, kind of similar to a coral snake. So, it kind of shows you how those guys, they have colors that mimic a usually venomous snake, and that kind of helps them tell predators that, hey, I might be venomous, even though they're not. It still helps protect them because it's mimicking a real venomous snake. So yeah, after looking at all those different ways an animal can defend itself from you, give you warning signs and stuff before biting, it definitely shows you that biting and stuff isn't their first defense when it comes to defending themselves from a predator. They try to do everything else first before having to resort to biting. So hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better about them. And we'll see you guys next time.